Hey! Oh, good morning,
morning.
everybody. How the heck are we doing today?
Good. How are you guys?
Best day
Doing
ever.
swell. Getting buried in snow. Always a good way to spend your
Are you?
January.
Wow.
Is it
Yeah.
snowing again?
Yeah. It's not a lot of accumulation, but it's at least the nice fluffy stuff.
Oh my.
So it's pretty to look at and gets all over your shoes really easily. So it's a great time.
Yeah, it's coming down out there. I didn't even catch that was happening.
Step out of the basement every so often.
It's funny. I guess I did realize it because I let Dax out this morning. I let him out the patio door and he goes running off. And I thought, oh, he's running out into the snow. And normally he runs around for a bit and then he like comes up to the door to come in and I let him in. Well, I'm sitting there and 5-10 minutes go by and well, it's cold out and he's still not back. So I open the door and I call for him. And all of a sudden I hear, and he comes running from all the other side of the yard and he bursts through the door and he's up the stairs and like my cats and me are like, what like, was that a wolf? What just came through our house? It was crazy. Holy cow. And here he is just like patiently watching the live stream. Yeah.
Everything's fine.
I heard
Nothing
my
happened.
name.
Yeah. Huh? I'll go do that again.
Got it all out of me.
Yeah. Good. Well, how is everybody doing today? Donald, where are you driving to? Dallas?
I think he's headed through Dallas now to Houston. He's been letting me know he's coming through my way. I think we're going to get together Sunday on his way back, but he's going down to Houston for some reason.
Oh,
But he drives himself a Tesla, so he puts that automatic driving on, and what does he say here? It's a better driver than he is. So
that's definitely true.
the next
all right,
best
so
thing
it's
to being on a train.
well, at least I'm sure it's a better driver than a lot of people. If you've driven recently and watched some of these people, you're just like, holy crap! Self-driving cars cannot come fast enough.
That's very fair. Yeah.
We
I want
were
the flying, though. Like, go big or go home.
flying cars. That's what you're waiting for.
Oh yeah.
Little Jetsons.
Yeah.
That won't be a mess. Give another.
I've been tracking that over the past couple of years. NASA's already working on the systems that they'll use to help try and navigate planes. Because at this point they would essentially need like universal air traffic control, and that's not going to happen. So they're trying to already build systems that can help navigate managing all those flight paths and timings and whatnot. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Well, if you've seen those like drone shows where they've got like 10,000 drones in the air,
oh, cool.
And they use AI to adjust for like weather patterns and wind and stuff. Like, I think that might be coming faster than we think. Those capabilities. So it's very exciting. We went to dinner last night with some of our friends, and they're in their late 70s, early 80s. I don't remember. But they were just in Arizona, and they were like blown away by Waymo or whatever the self-driving taxi company is. I don't know. Have you guys seen that or the videos of that or been through it?
I've seen pictures of it, like memes.
Yeah, like it's just like a car with like this little pod on top of it, and you get into it, and it just it takes you wherever you're going, and there's no one in it. They were blown away. They're like, it was fantastic. We were able to fill up the car. Someone sat in the driver's seats. Like they were just all in it, and the car just did its thing, and it was kind of neat.
Crazy.
Yeah, nuts. All right. Well, lots of good stuff going on today. We're going to be talking today about Git and DevOps and really we're talking about like the operations of working in data. But before we get into that, I really want to make sure that everyone has hit that like button. If you haven't, please go down and hit it. Post in the chat, because this helps with engagement too. Like, are you currently using Git inside of Fabric today or no? And if you are, just yes or no. That's all we need to see from you guys. Let us know how that's going. We want to hear about you. And as we're going and talking about this, Data Bar Jared is spot on. Put a Q colon if you guys have any questions, okay? We do want this to be an interactive conversation as much as we humanly possibly can. So regardless of where you're coming from, if you're on YouTube, you can directly integrate in and ask questions. If you're on LinkedIn, most of the questions filter through. I'll throw out a big caveat. There's sometimes a big delay on LinkedIn questions. LinkedIn questions. X doesn't support passing over questions at all. And if you're on TikTok or any of the other streams that we have going, just come over to YouTube to ask your questions. They just don't integrate at all with Restream. So ask questions. We want to do that. Okay. And we do want you guys to follow us on other social media platforms. You can follow me on LinkedIn mostly, primarily, but I'm also on X and I'm on TikTok, and I've just started a Substack, so you can find me there. Christina, where can people follow you?
Oh, much less places, but I am available on LinkedIn, on X, and I also co-write on Data on Wheels. There's also a page on Data on Wheels that will show you my upcoming conference schedule. So I'm always a fan of in-person connections. If you're in Kentucky, come find me. If you're at a conference that I'm at, come find me. Always down to chat.
So please don't hunt her down in Kentucky like that. I mean,
oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that wrong?
Yeah. We don't need to
track me down. I don't know. Message
find
me,
you at
I'll
a
find
conference. Find you at a public event. Yes, check your boards.
Public event. Let's be clear, public.
Yeah,
or public distillery, or we'll figure it out. Yeah.
We don't need people knocking on your door, right?
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
All right, Jared, where can people find you?
Primarily, LinkedIn is usually where I'm posting most of my stuff, but I do run my own YouTube channel of DataBard. So check out YouTube if you're looking for Fabric tutorials and anything on SSMS and all the cool stuff going on there. So definitely check that out. I do technically post the X and Blue Sky, but it's pretty much just posting links to my YouTube videos for the most part. I don't post a whole lot beyond that because the lack of characters is, I get very wordy and these platforms don't work well for that. So at least check me out on LinkedIn is probably the best place to get a hold of me.
And I can testify that Jared is consuming a lot of CUs around SMS, SSMS, and Copilot. So he does have a lot of content there. That's great. You should check it out. He is my number one consumption of my F256 is going to Jared. So,
Wow.
I will fix that. There's a particular demo that I'm running or that I'm testing out right now, which
do you need to increase it again?
How many cross joins do you have in there, Jared?
not cross joins. I'm testing the full extent of the new Varkar Maxes in Fabric Warehouse.
That's exciting.
I'm up to like 16 million characters, something like that.
And all you need is an F256.
It's not a lot of space.
Yeah.
Only turn it on when you need it.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
For those who want to write a book in a single character field, this is for you.
Right. Smart. That is how we recommend you do that.
It's useful for CI/CD.
Yeah.
You know it. Change logs. It's important.
Good morning, Kevin. Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me here That's about it. So
This is it? That's not true. You have other social medias, don't you?
only LinkedIn now. I
No?
got rid of
Okay.
X. I got fed up with X. I've had enough of it. So LinkedIn is about the only place. We are doing with the SML crew, we are doing a blog there, and I've been blogging on that. So I believe that's smlcrew.com. And I think we have a new post coming out this weekend. We post with multiple authors every other week, I think it is. So go check that out. I have a few articles up on that. Been helping other people get articles up on there and everything. So that's where I've been hanging out lately. So
Boy, it's like pulling teeth to get you to plug SML, you know.
I know, right? A lot of good people doing stuff together in SML. So
yes,
yes, it's not about me anymore.
That is spot on, and that's one of the great things about SML and this community in general. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We love seeing you each and every week because you know, I like to think of each and every one of you as friends that this is the time we get together on Fridays and we have a nice little social like conversation over the interwebs, and we record it for posterity's sake, you know, for some weird reason. With that said, Aaron is out there and he is spot on. Get your tickets for Kratos Con. We're all going to be at Kratos Con. It's fantastic. You know, we're so excited that, you know, to get everyone together, all of our viewers in one place in Atlanta. You know, just buy your tickets through the FabCon or SequelCon website. You know, go ahead and do that, and we will see you there. I'm going to be speaking on the amazing capabilities of Fabric SQL and how you can really, you know, like advance your analytical strategy using Fabric SQL, and with direct integration with your trend, like actual applications that you have working and running in the system in production, and directly integrate that into your analytics space and have that near real-time feed of data so that you can build reporting and analytics while keeping that separation of transactional processing for your apps and analytics reporting for your report consumers, so that you can have a protected and secure environment. I'm excited about this presentation. Christina, you're speaking as well. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so I have a full day workshop on data warehousing. So we're talking tips and tricks, pitfalls, patterns, all kinds of good stuff. It'll be me and Chris Hyde. So we'll be doing that tag team style, and I'm super pumped about that. And then I'm also going to be speaking on Fabric licensing. So if you are wondering what an F256 is at the beginning of this call, feel free to attend that session. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about why you might not need it unless you have someone crazy like Jared on your team. No, just kidding. But we'll talk about all that. So I'm very excited about that.
All right. And Jared, what are you speaking on?
So for me, T-SQL surface area, which is one of those topics that like you probably don't think about surface area much, but especially in Fabric, it's a very interesting discussion because compared to a lot of platforms, it's not just a singular surface area for every place that you use SQL within Fabric. There's multiple sectors thereof. So I think my talk's on Thursday afternoon, but I'm going to be digging into what are the different places that you can use SQL, where does maybe certain statements work in some places, and where it suddenly doesn't work in the other space, and more importantly, why doesn't it? We're going to be doing a lot of deep dives into architecture to understand what's going on behind the scenes, which then makes sense of what you see, and more importantly, what pitfalls you need to avoid when you're designing your Fabric architectures so you pick the right SQL for the right use case.
That's awesome. That'll be good. So make sure you get that one. Kevin, what was your presentation on?
I'm not speaking.
Shut the front door.
I am just attending.
Oh, well,
That's it.
it'll be easier to connect with Kevin then. He'll be around.
I might pop into one thing here or there, but you never know. But just
Awesome.
speaking.
Okay.
Not even going to volunteer this year, I don't think. So just I'm just going to be an attendee. I'm just going to enjoy myself.
Enjoy the sessions and have fun. Well, fantastic. And you can find all of us. Well, I think you'll be able to find all of us from time to time at our booth, the Baker Tilly booth. We're going to actually be doing live streams from the booth again this year. That was a big hit. Arun Ulog has mentioned stopping by to do a live from the floor interview, as well as several other executives have talked about trying to find time to come out and do that. We're working on scheduling that now. And if you want to be part of a live stream, stop on down. We'll be doing lots of live interviews and lots of conversations. So even if you're not able to attend, we'll try to keep you in touch with what's going on at FabCon. All right. Awesome. But we have gone way long on like the preview here. So Kevin, you're going to have to talk fast.
That's okay. We don't. We already realized we have nothing to talk about during, Kevin's having a great day today. Kevin had Claude put a presentation together last night. We looked at it this morning and threw it out. So,
what do you mean? Yeah. AI doesn't solve all of our problems every time?
Oh, it was gorgeous, right? I mean, I took one of Belinda's kind of prompts. I asked AI to put a presentation together about Git like I'm a 5-year-old. And it literally put it together like a 5-year-old. The presentation was really colorful.
Lots of sprinkles.
Yes.
Well, come on, can't we look at it?
Cake.
We can look at it. I closed it down. Let me open it back up.
It's all about how you present it. Like, since you're using Claude, it has to be, this is demos by Claude.
We need an AI voice filter that will give you the perfect accent for these things. Although, did you guys hear about the latest AI vulnerability or breach that just occurred?
No.
Apparently, like a senior finance manager had a meeting scheduled with the COO, CFO, and a couple other leaders, teams meeting like this. He goes into the meeting and they're all talking about different projects that are going on at the company. And about 20 minutes into the project, the COO brings up, hey, in Brazil or whatever, we just had a real successful project that just completed with this new vendor of ours. It worked out really good. They're going to be kicking off, or they're supposed to be kicking off a new project in whatever, another country in South Africa. But we need to have boots on the ground tomorrow starting this. And apparently they haven't been paid the $24 million we owe them for the Venezuela stuff. Can you express a payment over to them? And the senior finance leader said, oh my gosh, I don't know how this happened. And they like, why are you not paying this? He said, I'm sorry. I'll get it out right away. He proceeded to get it out right away, pushed out the $24 million payment. And it turned out the entire meeting and all the video and all of the interactions and voices of the executives and other people he was working with were all AI generated, like deep fakes. And like, it wasn't the COO. It wasn't the CFO. It wasn't the other people that he works with on a day-to-day basis.
So it must have gotten a hold of like meeting recordings and AI notes.
Wow.
And
I mean, if you look at some of the AI stuff, you don't need a lot in order to spoof someone, like a picture or two, and then a recording or two, and you can.
Well, but to have like, oh gosh, that's terrifying.
Well, I mean, that's honestly, like, anytime I'm getting calls where I don't recognize the phone number, I don't answer in my normal voice, because that's the one thing I'm worried about, is getting that one spam call where somebody's recording something. But I'm also like doing it as a like trap for somebody, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna totally spoof them, and then they do an actual AI generated thing of me, and it's all like.
I hate to break it to you, but we are on the YouTubes. I feel like people could get our voice away.
Oh yeah, we are all toast.
Yeah.
All right, well, but let's see how
if they call my phone, I never answer it anyway. So
let's see how Claude, came up with the Claude came up with the presentation for this.
Yeah, you want to switch us over? There you go.
It still just makes me laugh. I can't.
We got a kick out of it this morning. I literally, I was leaving for a user group last night, and I go, "Oh, I forgot I'm supposed to put a little slide deck together for what is Git." So as I said, I gave the prompt to Claude saying, "Produce me a PowerPoint to explain Git like I'm a 5-year-old." Right? Like I said, it's one of my favorite lines that comes from Miss Belinda here. And so this is what it put together. Git is like a magic toy box. It's a fun way to save your work. It is. I mean, think about it. It's all your toys, all your Fabric items could be in Git. I mean, it's gorgeous, right? So it's a
Right.
special place to keep your creations, right? So I have my documents, I have my artwork, I have my video games. I could create any of those things and keep them in Git, which is true, so, and it's, saving your work. It's like taking photos of your toy castle. So here I have my toy castle in photo 1. I don't know what's changed between photo 1 and photo 2, but
There's a sun in photo
I
2.
added the star somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
there's a star.
Yeah.
I guess it's not just your toy castle, but your whole toy set, right?
Yeah.
As I added the star. And then in photo 3, I have the star and the red flag. There's a lot of red flags in this presentation. It's great. But you can go
I
back
like
and
that
see what it looked like.
I like the text is overlapping because
Yeah.
one of the things that humans love when they look at presentations or words in general is to have words overlap. That's a sign of a high quality solution.
Yes.
It's a condensed
At least
format
it's centered.
really
Yeah. At least it's centered. Yeah, and it's not 4,000 characters, right? Like,
Yeah.
No, I mean, and we're just killing Claude today, right? So, but hey, and Git, you could go back in time, and if you make a mistake, you could go back to any photo, and I think all of this is true. I think this thinks about Git in a very simplistic manner, right? And sometimes I think we make it way too complicated, but we could go back in time. We could look at things. We could save things. We could be very lightweight with Git. But we start off with it being so complicated and try to explain the complications to everybody, right?
Yeah.
So do we want to let's go through the last slide. Two
Was
more
there
slides
another
on this.
slide? I thought
There's 2 more slides on this.
Shut up.
Right? But in Git, you could share with your friends. So, you heart your friends, it equals teamwork. I mean, think about how good that is. You got all this teamwork, everything going into the same place. Right? So Git is fun. Keep all your creations safe and sound. You should use Git. That was the message that started all of this for me is, right? We were on an episode and I made a crazy comment that said, even business users should end up having workspaces with Git attached to it. And that generated some comments during that time. And it was like, geez, we can't even get them to, save to SharePoint correctly or, get them to do whatever else. And so, and yeah, that could be the way because we tend to complicate it, right? If we look at Microsoft's documentation, look at this alone, right? Telling somebody come out to the Microsoft documentation, you have what, 2, 4, 6, 8 pages here, just talking about Git, right? And then you get into more pages about CI/CD, deployment. It's like, yeah, this could get crazy, right? And then we get into another one of those deeper pages of what do we have to do? We have to have, we have to sync. We have to bring it down to our machine. We have to branch. What the heck is a branch? And do I need to know all of this? And then come up with more processes. Oh, I thought I was on a better slide here. But which process to end up using? Do you have this process where everything is pushed from Git into different, off of features or off of branches, or do you use CI/CD? And this is kind of what it looks like if I have a workspace. So this is a workspace I use for one of my demos. You could see I have a whole bunch of objects in there, and they're synced to Git, and then I could bring that down to my machine and open. Oh, that's not on the right screen. Something like Visual Studio Code, and then I have to come here and say, oh, what branch am I on? Down at the bottom, I'm on the main branch, and I got to switch, and I have all the files. I have changes I could commit and sync them here. It's a lot, isn't it? Do you think an average user is going to just use this and go with it?
Well, and that's why, Kevin, I don't think this doesn't make sense to me for a business user. Like straight up, I think if I brought this to a head of finance and I said, okay, Tom, I want you to start to use Git. And these are going to be your repos, and you're going to you're going to check it in, and then you're going to do a merge, and then you're going to do a push out into the service if you want to update your Power BI report. And I think Tom is just going to tell me no. And I'm going to say, Tom, you can do it. I have confidence in you. And if you need a boost of energy, why don't you try NeuroGum?
So you have enough energy,
L-theanine and B vitamins. You've got enough energy that's clean, doesn't give you the jitters to use it. And Tom says, even if I buy NeuroGum and I use Kratos BI checkout and I save 0% because they're not a sponsor of the channel, I'm not going to be able to do this. No, there's no amount of NeuroGum that will enable me to leverage Git. In fact, get out of my office with your NeuroGum and Git. I don't want to have anything to do with you if I tell him he needs to use Git. Kevin, what is your response to that?
Let me kind of back away from NeuroGum for just a second. But have you ever had a business user come up to you? And actually, I had this from a client that I ended up working with, but kept friends with somebody. I got a text one day, and that text asked me, where is the trash bin for Power BI? And I was really confused. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I had to kind of relate that to, say, other things, right? On your Windows machine, you delete something that goes to your trash bin, or SharePoint, I think, has a trash bin, right? But Power BI, there's no trash bin. So I started thinking, I'm like, well, what's your problem? They said, well, somebody deleted this report in a workspace, and we don't know where it's saved at, and we can't get it back. How can I just go get it back? So Power BI has a feature. If you delete the entire workspace, the tenant admin can go back and get that object or get that workspace, and it's going to get everything from that, right? So now Enterprise AR is saying, the trash bin is called the dev workspace. But again, you're working with, let's say you're giving it to finance, right? And to the point that you're barely going to get them to just say, hey, all they really want to do is open up a report. Oh, and I thought I had Power BI open. Let me open that, right? Is they're going to open up a report, and all they want to really be able to do is have a share that report, right? And be able to share it with others. In fact, what they're probably going to do, that looks like, trust me, it's loading. You would think I would be ready for these type of things. New Year's resolution.
You sure would.
Yeah.
And while Kevin's pulling that up, we want to say good morning to Miss Belinda Allen.
Belinda.
How the heck are you?
I had to call and defend myself. Okay. I am all about to explain it like I'm 5, but I don't have them create slide decks like it. But you have to admit, that was a pretty good example for someone who does not understand what Get is, right? You got your toys, right? You want to share them with other people. You want to do. Kevin, thank you for giving it a try. I love you for that and many other reasons. So I just had to come on and defend myself. And for those of you looking for NeuroGum, on the YouTube channel, you could see a link where you can get it since they're a chat. And I forgot to put in, if you put in Kratos God as a discount, you will get a whole 0% off.
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
So make sure you use Kratos BI or Kratos God at checkout for 0% off your NeuroGum purchase.
Okay, I'm out of
Thank
here.
you, Belinda.
Bye, guys. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
stopping by and explaining. I'll send you the deck if you want to use it.
I would love to use it. I would love it. I would. You know I would. Okay.
I know you would. So.
Oh,
All right.
gosh dang. There we go. The pop-ins are live and happening.
That's great.
You never know what's going to happen here at Kratos BI, so make sure you join us every Friday, 7:30 to 8:30, as we talk about these incredible topics. So,
Just for the chance to see Miss Belinda, really.
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
All right. So
All right.
kind of back to, right, there is no dev workspace because in this case, I'm just a business user, right? I'm not even going to think about dev, test, prod. I've been given a good semantic model from my BI team, and I just want to put together my report, right? And all I'm doing on my report is I just want a table that I want to say what the last name was of my customer and how much sales they had, because I'm going to export this to Excel because I am the business user. This is what I do. So now I want to share this with somebody else. So the first thing I need to do is I talk back, in my company, I have a request system that says, hey, you can request a Power BI workspace. And they put in and say, I'm going to give you a Power BI, or the admin produces the Power BI workspace for them, right? And so we start out with, where'd it go? With our workspace here. Right? So they created Fabric Friday Git, and there's nothing actually there. What I think next is the admin that's creating the Power BI workspace should also, before they give the access to this, is come in here, and it's the back-end person that's creating this is setting up Git for them. And so we're going to set it up to Azure DevOps. And to my wonderful Kevin organization and everything. And I'm going to pick out my Fabric Friday repo. I'm going to just connect it to my main branch. I'm not going to worry about branching here or anything. And I'm going to put it into a folder that's going to be the same name as the workspace. And before I allow my end user to do anything, I'm setting this all up, and it's going to create that folder and sync.
Oh,
I do love this approach. I
And
don't
if we
want to rain on the
look at
parade,
our
so I'll wait a little
I
bit.
do have
before I
some
rain on the
commits.
parade.
Wait, you're not
Okay.
saying there's trade-offs.
You could rain on it at any.
No, mine are all about, okay, let's say that I am the admin setting this up, but I can't create an Azure DevOps instance.
then you have to enable that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
There's other steps here, I guess,
yeah,
is what
like-
I'm trying to point out. Yeah.
The
hang on, we're going to come back to this, but I want to be clear. Please screen cap or shortcut this video right here. This video, and if you just watch the last like 5 minutes or whatever, Kevin Arnold is going to explain to you, an Azure admin, why it's vitally important that your Fabric tenant admins have the ability to create objects inside of Git, and you need to enable these capabilities for your admins, as well as the admin service account inside of Fabric, not just so that they can either manually do this or ideally automate the creation of these items and automate the syncing of this. And Kevin's going to go into like all of the rationale and reasons for that in just a second. But this is why these capabilities are necessary for our admins to have. Please pass this video on to anyone who's questioning it or challenging it as to why this needs to occur and why this is an approved usage of Git and why this needs to happen.
One
All
extra
right, back to
gotcha
you,
about
Kevin.
this too, and this
Oh,
is something that
yeah.
I say this because the important thing Kevin did here too was he's doing this before any activity is being done in the workspace because of one thing that you don't see here. If you do have content already in the workspace and then you're like, oh, I want to set up this Git stuff and there's already content in there, you want to make sure that at least your Git repository that you're connecting to is empty. Either you want the Fabric workspace to be empty or you want the Git repository to be empty. Because if either one has content, once you set up the setting Kevin just did, you're going to have a choice. Either everything that is in the Git repository is going to get copied into your Fabric workspace, or everything in your Fabric workspace gets copied into the Git repository. There's no way to say I want some from the workspace, some from the repository. Like don't get yourself in there. Set this up first before you do any of that work.
Which is also where if you have different folders, right? You're binding to a folder, right? But yes, your admins have to have the right to start setting things up, right? And if they don't, that gets into politics at a company versus anything else. And I don't think we're here to talk about the politics at a company. Is if the company chooses they don't want to do something, then fine, you're going to text me and ask me where the trash bin is on Power BI. And I'm going to tell you, watch this video. And if you didn't choose to do this, that's your politics. That's not my problem. But, All right.
Well
so,
done.
yeah, we're acting as two different roles here, right? The role that I'm showing here is the overall admin role. And they have the ability to set up workspaces, right? And if you're doing this right, in your tenant admin, nobody's allowed to set up workspaces but the admins, right? Whoever's playing that admin role. And when I use that word, I'm using it loosely. It's not just somebody in the tenant admin role, right? But it's a group that gets requests to say, I need a workspace. It's being created. You're not going with the wild, wild west. If you want to go with the wild, wild west, then you live that way, right? And what I'm proposing is that they set it up. They're setting up the Git repository connection at that time. Now, Jack asked a question here of did I use my Entra ID or a service principal, right? There are ways of doing things differently. And what you would have to do is the end users that are going to publish to this workspace, and I'm using that word on purpose, if they're going to click commit up in the workspace, they got to be able to connect to your repository as well. It's whatever your repository of choice is. I showed using Azure DevOps. You could use GitHub or just GitHub Enterprise, and that uses a different connection method. But you have to have all of that worked out as well. So that's if you're using GitHub, there is just a credential that is stored and it's all shared. If you're using Azure DevOps, then you have to set them up as users within Azure DevOps. But all of that could still be handled. Okay, so now I'm going to switch my role from I'm the tenant admin. I finished setting all this stuff up. Now I'm back to being my great business user that I'm getting my report out here. And all I want to do is share this. So I'm going to do my normal publish, right? So I'm not having to teach them anything new. I don't know why. I didn't think I made a change, but I guess I did. And we're going to choose that.
Hey, Kevin, Jack is asking a question while you're pulling that up. Do you use your Entra ID or service principal to set that link to Azure DevOps?
Yeah, I think you were typing. I just covered some of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
okay. But yes, I was saying that in this case, since I'm using Azure DevOps, when I set it up, I used my ID. If there's the next person that comes to connect to it, they have to have access to Azure DevOps as well. If you're using GitHub, it works differently with stored credentials. But I think there is a way to use a service principal. I haven't looked at that setup again for Azure DevOps. I like when you connect somebody to a repository, you give each person the access to the repository, because that way it shows you who did the commit. So that is the better way.
I like
okay,
it.
so now I've gone ahead. All I've done is my normal publish to the workspace, and I'm still the business user, right? And I'm going to come here to my workspace and see the report that I just put out there. And you see now, because it's been connected to Git, I have this source control, and it tells me that the report is uncommitted. All I have to show my business users, what I need you to do is come in here, select what you want committed, put some valid comment, and click commit. Don't need to bother with changing branches. Don't need to bother with anything else, right? And now I have this report at this version backed up. I don't care if the business user, their laptop goes away, right? Which I've had happen. And, all of a sudden you can't get to something. It's that simple to get now back to this version. And so if we come back here and we refresh, we're going to see those files. Even though I'm working with a PBIX off of my desktop, because that's how I save the report, once you push it up onto the service, it starts changing it to the PBIP format. And so all of this goes on, but they don't need to know that, right? Again, they don't really care. And you can come in here and see the different versions. And because I gave it a nice name, new report, and you can see I was testing this yesterday, right? And I deleted all that stuff. It's going to show me again, this is me as the admin's going to come back in and go, if I need to come at things, I know how to navigate this. I don't expect my business user to know this at all, right? So my business user is going to come back to their report and go, oh, I really wanted to put a slicer on this. Let's see if I could add one real quick. I got rid of all my visuals. I'm not even going to plug it together. I'm just going to add a slicer to it and save it. And then publish again. Replace that report. And now come back to my workspace. And if I refresh, it's going to tell me I have a change again. But now that the user is going, why didn't that? Did I go to base?
It looked like you sensed the right workspace.
Sometimes I have had it, at least not with Power BI, but with other artifacts with this approach. Sometimes there is a little bit of a delay from when Git will detect what changes have occurred in the workspace.
Yeah. But now it we know there's a change. In fact, I'm going to even commit it. But now I'm going to go, oh, wait, I'm going to contact my admin again. Go, geez, I don't know what happened. I don't know who overlaid it. We could find out all that stuff because they're all going to be here under the commits. And you're going to say, I see that you, Kevin, you changed it both times. Well, I don't have the file anymore. Can you get me this old version? And the answer is yes. Is I could come back to this commit that is named, and then from this top level, Well, I don't think I want to view in File Explorer. Let's see. Where did I get it from? With browse
Kevin, what
files and
happens if
this
they
commit?
don't? Kevin,
Yeah.
what happens if they don't like sync the commit? And I keep publishing.
That's a good question, right? So like if I come in here and I publish this again,
Yeah, like you make a change to it and you add something else,
so I'm going to
another
delete it.
field, or
Yeah, so I'm just going to remove what I put in there and I publish. Replace. Learned I got to click that box off.
I think you have to
Give it a
refresh the whole
second.
browser.
Yeah.
Oh no, there it is. No,
You
don't
can do it
anything.
up in the source. So
Oh, okay.
here's what you could do is if I don't want that saved, I want to get rid of that.
No. Go back
Mhm.
to Power BI now.
Yeah, don't commit this change at all.
Don't commit this change.
Okay.
Add something else to this Power BI report. There you go. And
then
now
publish again?
republish it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to overlay what's in there, right?
Right. Is it possible to go back to what you overlaid?
Not unless you did the commit.
The commit. Okay.
The commit
so
is
they'd
what's going to
still
send it
have
to
to
the
do the
repository.
commit as part of it. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well,
They could publish 20 times, right?
mhm.
And then at some point go, now I think it's ready. Now I'm going to do my commit. And
Okay.
it's at that point that you now have a recovery point.
Okay.
And then you could come back into the repository, and then so I'm now looking at the files for that first commit, and I could come in here and download this as a zip. And again, this is more of me as an admin role, right? Because I'm going to be the one that's going to help you recover.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm not expecting this business user to know everything. I only want the business user to know, click this button that says commit, put a good comment in there when you think everything is good or you want to get it back, so that when you text me and say, where is the trash bin? I have the trash bin and I could tell you, here's the times that you saved it. And I could download it. If I unzip this, it gives me the PBIP format. I could open up the report. I could save it back as PBIX, give it to him and say, okay, now here you can start working with this again. That's where I'm coming from on very simple, not even CI/CD, right? We could use Git to help us do better backups, even for the business user.
I like that. I like this quite a bit. Okay. So while I like this, Christina, what is your challenge here?
Well, the big challenge is always who's going to give me that Azure DevOps environment, right? Which we talked about already. That typically becomes a political issue. It also, if you
It's no
have
longer
more
a
than
political issue. You send them this video link, clip to like where I gave approval for it. So
it also is a money issue, right? Because if you have more than 5 users, you then have to pay for it, and you have to get licensing. You have to figure out the repo setup, which is not as intuitive as I wish it was in Azure DevOps. Just little things that become little, like death by 1,000 cuts. I personally love this approach, Kevin. This is like what I call get light. I think it's a great way forward, especially if you're a Power BI team and you think, okay, I just want backups that aren't SharePoint. I just want to be able to go through my version history and have comments without checking things in and out. that is another method that I see, and it works pretty well, except that it's not tied to the service then, right? So you have the gap of, oh, well, I forgot to save it back into SharePoint, or I forgot to check it out. You get lots of potential issues, but I do love it. I also love this approach better than SharePoint because you can see the differences. So if someone says, oh, I didn't realize, did I override this? You can say, yeah, you did. I can show you exactly what you overwrote, and we can revert back. That's not something you can do with the SharePoint check-in, check-out system. It just becomes something.
Wait, are you sure you can't with the SharePoint check-in, check-out? Like,
not on the visual side. I think you can with the Tyndall side. But the
OneDrive allows for you to like roll back files, though.
Oh, you can roll it back.
You can roll
But what
back
I'm
the file,
saying is, so it's decent for that because you can always go back and say, I want this file. What it won't tell me is what exactly is different between them. I have to go into another tool.
Oh,
to compare them.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
That's all I mean. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess my challenge there is like anyone who is at the sophistication of I just want to use like SharePoint is not at the sophistication to say evaluate the difference between these two files, right?
Well, they want to, Chris. They want to. As soon as they need it, they want it so bad.
Okay.
I would still advocate that if they understand going, putting a file on a SharePoint, right, and that process should still occur, right. But if we want to talk about, hey, is this a better process or is that a better process? SharePoint still needs to be set up. Admins have to set up a SharePoint site. People still, right? All the same politics still exist in any process that you're putting in place, right? So
I just don't need a SharePoint license. That recently has come up quite
sure
a bit.
You do. Yes, you do.
Do I, as a user, need a specific?
You end up having SharePoint licenses because typically you're going to get an E1, E3, E5. So it's already there. That's kind of your point. But there
DevOps is not. Yeah.
But there are people that come in and don't even get those, right? So there's sometimes as a contractor or whatever, I don't get assigned any e-license. And then if they want me to get over to SharePoint, they have to assign, if they want me to get there by my ID, they have to assign me one. So it's the same thing, It's just typically, right, what you're saying is that's easier approval, right?
Yeah. And a known quantity, right? They know what SharePoint is. They've been using it for years. They know how to assign people to it. They know how to handle that administration. People just get nervous, I think, which is, understandable, but that's where they can show things like this, like you were mentioning, Chris, and hopefully get past that hurdle. Again, I think this is great. I'm not trying to argue against it.
Oh, no,
I'm
no,
just
no.
trying to throw a little bit
I
of
think you are.
real world
Chris
problem
Chris
solving.
wants us to argue. Come on, let's go.
Oh, does he? Oh, sorry. Well,
Come on, we're all friends here. Let's just get along, please.
The problem is that, if Kevin and I really fundamentally disagree, then one of us has to be wrong, right? Like that's
Christina, I'm trying to get the AI.
I don't think we fundamentally.
I want to get the AI to auto clip this as Christina destroys pet influencer.
Oh, that's never. I can't destroy Kevin. Are you kidding me? No, I guess I'm just trying to throw a little real world spice, like sprinkle into it, because I think that like even 2 years ago, Chris, we did 2 video series on this, and I covered exactly what Kevin's talking about today.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of it. I've just tried to implement it a few times, and I just keep running into the same things. And so I don't want somebody to watch this or listen to it and think, oh, I can just go do this tomorrow. Like there are things that are going to stop you, and I just want to encourage you to keep pushing, like keep going, keep trying. Or here's the workarounds that we found when we hit these brick walls. Like this is a way to still be backed up, to still have version control of some sort without necessarily needing to wait on another team to enable you to do your job better.
Yeah, I think the big reality here that we're all hitting on is there's many ways to solve this puzzle, right? And
Mhm.
um, yeah, the path that's going to work for any individual or organization is going to be very situational, and unfortunately, it falls into the depends, right?
Yeah.
It's going to depend on how you get to that end state. But the thing that doesn't depend, and the thing that we need to make sure we're doing, is that we have an end state that allows us to roll back, that allows us to recover, that allows us to not just lose everything when a catastrophic issue occurs. You
Mhm.
know, when Tom joins the team, and Tom, who is a minimalist, likes to keep things very organized, and Tom has only ever used 2 reports in the workspace, so Tom decides to delete all the other reports because he wants to get rid of legacy stuff. And Tom doesn't realize that one of the reports is used every month or every quarter. You have a mechanism at that quarter review point or at that month end review point to go and restore from
Yeah.
Tom's mistake. Tom's smart, Tom's good, Tom's all well meaning, but Tom makes a mistake because he's human, just like all of us. And we want to, as professionals. I mean, if you're watching this video, if you're watching this live stream, you're a professional. You do this for more than just like
Yeah.
fun, right?
Mhm.
We're all getting paid to deliver hardened solutions. We got to be smart enough to think about that end state. And so Kevin's brought
Yep.
in a great example of how you can do that with Git, with a lightweight check-in, where it's not a big onerous thing for you. And Christina's calling out, if that doesn't work for you, there's some other alternatives that work, right? So,
Or use them all,
yeah.
right? I mean, I like the SharePoint approach too, but how many times has somebody said, "Oh, I don't know how to have that SharePoint drive linked on
Yep.
my machine, so I just put it over into my documents, and oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to copy it back to SharePoint."
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
and I published over, and somebody else had it open.
Yeah.
They were making changes. They published, and now my
Mhm.
changes are gone. That
Yeah.
happens all the time.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
if you have both processes put in place, right, now
Mhm.
you have better places. And Jack brought up a question that Christina helped answer in the chat. But yes, it's the same process if you just edit this report online, right?
Mhm.
And you're now the thing is you're going to want to come up here and open this and then download it to then get that change down to that file, because if I just save it online, I don't have it in my local version or that
We're not
SharePoint
seeing your
version.
screen right now, Kevin.
Yeah, that's right. We're not over there.
Sorry.
Right, that's okay.
Figured I'd call that out. Yeah.
No, I was
That's
saying
great.
you'd have to, like, if I come up here and I want to change this, once I make that change, right, I need to download this file because the change only exists online. But I could come
Mhm.
up here and we'll do our favorite. If I could get my machine to respond. Oh, I'm not in edit mode.
We're
I see.
doing it live.
With my machine being
That's how we like
delayed
to do
too,
these things.
right? So if I just delete this and then I do save, now that's the version of the report that I have that's going to be for this commit now. So if I did that, that's what would go back to the repository. That's not going to match what I currently have open on my desktop, right?
Mm-mm.
And that's exactly what Christina was talking about. You still got to solve that type of issue, and you can come back in to the report and download from the open report to now start syncing up your files wherever you're doing that, right? Whether it's in SharePoint, your own personal drive, or whatever, so that you don't keep changing it. But even if you did, if you overwritten it, then you still have a checkpoint, a commit point in Git to help you out. So, Jack, I hope that answers your question. And with
I do
that,
think of Get as like oh, we're pretty close. I'm sorry. I think of Get as like an ocean, right? You can go swimming in the ocean, you can go boogie boarding, or you can go surfing,
Mhm.
or you can go deep sea fishing. You have a lot of options with Get. and you have a lot of complexities you can add to Git, but you can also go swimming in it, right? You don't need the big sailboat in order to experience the ocean.
Pick the experience that's right for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are at time, so thank you all very much for tuning in and joining us today. This has been absolutely fantastic. Join us next week where we're going to be going into Tabular Editor and talking about our favorite features and functions inside of Tabular Editor and why Tabular
Ooh.
Editor is a deal breaker if you're working inside of Fabric. It's a must-have tool that if your company's spending money on building out models or content in Fabric, they should definitely be investing money in Tabular Editor 3. So join this live stream next Friday where we dive into that and talk about our biggest tips and tricks on Tabular Editor. All right. And we will explain it like year 5. And with
Maybe we'll have another presentation.
yes. And by Claude.
Good.
And with that, you guys all have the best day ever. Peace.
Peace.
Baker Tilly Digital combines strategic industry insight and advanced technical expertise to uncover and solve your digital transformation challenges. If you're interested in learning more, check out our website at bakertilly.com/digital.